Hi there, Predator Solutions of Michigan. Brian behind the camera, Janelle here. This is our first real-time out since the season opened back up. It opened back up last week, Monday, I believe it was, the 15th. I was up at the county fair with the kids all week, and Brian did a little bit of pest control stuff at his house, I think, but waited for me to get back out after him. And it's been a banger of a night, I tell you what. First place we went to, we'll show you some pictures, some of them in the yard. Problem area, you could say. The homeowners have been bugging us to come out there. Their granddaughter, I actually saw her up at fair, and she was like, "You guys gotta come over, da da da." So we went over there and took those out, because as much of a problem as they are now, they're only gonna get bigger and become more of a problem and generally harder to kill. So those are the first two. So we had 2 down on the first set. We then got to the second spot, and actually we had 3 things down at the first set because Brian maybe hit a mailbox.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
Threw him under the bus.
But she's not wrong. I backed into a mailbox.
No, so funny. This is the first, I can tell, this is the first time of all the nights we've been out backing around and in and out of driveways that this is the first time we've bumped into something.
Yeah,
it was actually at the landowner's house. He already has plans to go over and fix it with them tomorrow, but sorry, Brian. So
that's all right, I can laugh about it.
Mailbox down.
Yeah.
Second spot, we got to the second spot, and we had gotten trail cam pictures from the guy who hunts these properties. The Coyotes were in there, and it's a dad and a son that live across the street from each other. And we've killed coyotes on both sides, actually. So we're standing in the front yard and literally kind of started walking down the driveway to go across the street to the dad's, and we're just really indecisive about where we wanted to go. And his son just so happened to pull in the driveway while we were standing there, and I waved to him and talked to him for a second, and he's like, "Ah, have fun, whatever." So we throw the caller out, and Brian's like, "Let's throw the caller out, and we'll do a couple howls, and whichever side they answer from, that's where we'll move. We'll either go north or south." Okay, well, the normal response happened. Crickets. So we're standing there, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like if we go back this way, that's where I thought the trail camera was. The wind was kind of better for that side of the road. And we're standing there, and Brian's like, right here, right here, right here. Here's a ditch that's, how far do you think that ditch is out into his dad's property line there? Maybe 120?
Yeah, maybe 150.
Not far. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, right here. And it's Pepe Le Pewing through the beans, and comes right up, right alongside of the dad's house on the north side, crosses over just as it's starting to get to the ditch to cross over. It's carrying something in its mouth. A car comes by, and it kind of gets a little excited and zips across. Well, now it's on the south side of the road, side of the road we're standing on. But of course, we're standing there and we're getting video of it. It's dad's house, the barn, the neighbor's house, the neighbor's house, the neighbor's house. Now we're on the south side of the road, neighbor, like just never a safe shot. And then by the time it cleared all the houses where we could have possibly shot, it got behind the beans. It got too tall. There's like a lane there, but the field is a bit higher than the lane, and the beans are pretty decently tall. So we're like, okay. And Brian was like, I don't know. He's like, maybe we should just quit. Like, did it see us? I'm like, I don't think it saw us. I think it was the car that pushed it. So I'm like, well, let's just walk back down that lane a little bit and see what we can see. I said, I at least want to look down that lane and make sure it's not sitting on that lane eating whatever it was that it had in its mouth. So we get down the lane, get into a spot that was kind of shadowed from the neighbor's lights and the barn light at the property, and Brian threw out a call. And you said you'd never really used that one before?
No.
And it wasn't, I guess that first one took a few minutes to come in. And again, at that point, I didn't even have my scanner out because I knew we're on this lane that's maybe 10 feet, 12 feet wide. And I knew if that thing popped out into the lane, it very well could be a split second where it's in the lane and then it's poof, gone again. So I wasn't even using my scanner. And Brian said, right here. And just as he said it, I had kind of gone, just panned to the left and pink, kitty pink in the beans. And then it got on the lane. It started kind of running towards us. And it stopped, shot it right in the chest. Boom. So that was number 3 for the night. Long story, quite well told, I know. So we keep going. Brian's like, we're not done. We're not done. He's like, let's just give it a minute and we're going to throw some more sounds at it. Well, in the interim, he's kind of looking through the collar, deciding what he wants to throw at it. Another one lights up. And I'm like, oh, it's close. There's a big like county drain. It's maybe 150 yards from us. But again, that's behind the drain is corn. And again, these beans are pretty tall. But he turned on,
It was actually the same sound.
Was it the same sound?
Yeah.
Turned back on?
Yeah.
And it didn't take that coyote 30 seconds. And it came in and it went kind of left and then it went back. And at one point it was decently close, but Brian kind of couldn't get a clear shot. And then I think his scope, he pushed the zoom and then it went like all the way in and it was just a blob. So then it went out and around, and he's like, if you could get a shot, shoot it. Well, it comes across and it stops, like I said, on that lane, boop, boop, and it kind of walked like it wanted to leave, and I barked and shot that one. So that was number 4. Shoot it. Shoot it.
If you can shoot it, shoot it. It's gonna come back.
I don't know. You gonna shoot it in the lane? So then that landowner came out, actually walked all the way out into the field and talked for, God, we probably talked to him for what, 45 minutes?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty cool interacting with the landowners like that. Again, he's another guy I know from the 4-H fair. So we finally got out of there and got over to this place, and we pulled in, and Brian's like, I don't think I've ever even seen a coyote here. This just so happens to be the spot that I got my solo quad at. And we've killed foxes here. Brett and I missed a coyote or two here. Brian and I called one in last year, and then the neighbor started calling, and it ran like it was one of the most educated coyote responses I've ever seen. So we get out here, and right away there's a coyote out in the field, but it's way back. So Brian tries the sound that worked on the last set. Nothing. Changes it up, does a couple others, and nothing. It kind of came out, and there's a rise in the field, and it stood and it looked, but just not enough. I'm like, let's just go to them. I'm like, let's move back on them. Like maybe if we get closer, we'll make them mad enough to come in. Well, sure enough, we get back there, and we hadn't even set up yet. We got to kind of where the rise is, so we could see to the back corner, and Brian's like, right here. Well, no, they're straight across from us, like to the east. So there was two of them. Brian only ever saw one, and they're trotting along, and I'm kind of, again, trying to get Brian. He's got the new Thor 5, and trying to get him some video, so I didn't shoot. And he's like, oh, if you could shoot him. And then I'm like, and then they were walking, and then there's weeds in front of them.
Well, I had to call my backpack. I was trying to get my backpack. So
Yes.
I had squatted down. I was getting my call out of the backpack.
Yeah, it was kind of a cluster, the way they popped out.
We were in the moonlight.
Bad.
So I didn't want to scare them and move.
So anyway, they kind of worked their way off, and I'm like, and he threw another sound or two at them, and they stopped and they turned, but then they just didn't want to commit. Didn't want to. I mean,
They did start barking and howling at us.
Oh yeah, they did bark and howl a little bit after they went into the weeds, but just no real, like, they never got excited for anything. Distress, pup distress, like nothing. So they left. They'd been gone a couple minutes, and Brian's like, and I'm like, den raid. Throw some den raid at him. Like, let's go old school. Den raid wasn't on for 10 seconds, and I'm like, oh, here they come. They probably did a 250 yard dash in about 8 seconds, and the one was so close, I kid you not, if I had had a pea shooter, I probably could have hit him with it. I mean, just, we're standing there, if we would have let him, because we had, at this point, we never even walked the caller out, again, because they were right out there. The caller was literally, if we had not started making noise to try to get him to stop, they probably would have ran right in between our legs, right in between our tripods, like they were that close. So they come in, and they turn, and the one turns and kind of runs back out, and the other one went too far to my left for me to follow it in my video. Brian shoots. This one goes back out and stopped, and I don't really know what I had going on tonight. I mean, I hit the two with single shots, but then this one I missed, and then we had a little bit of a rough start with the small ones at the first stop. So definitely going to be getting some paper out and shooting the guns at paper, but I missed. And then it never stopped again. It ran until it was gone. I keep coming in, you should shoot. but this is the first time ever we have shot 5 coyotes in a night. We've done a couple 4, many 3s and 2s, but never 5 in a night. So here's the 3 big ones. Yeah, they look pretty decent size ones for, I mean, they all look not that great because they're not very fluffy this time of year.
Yeah, we had 2 females and a male there.
Yep. So anyway, we're I think we're gonna call it a night for tonight. I don't even know what time it is, but we got 450 bales to put up, and Brian's gotta fix the mailbox with Heather. So anyway, it's got to be probably close to 2 o'clock now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Anyway, so really just felt really good to be back out, and then to have just all 3 of our sets tonight pan out the way they did. Should have probably had 1 more in the truck, but I'm not complaining with 5. So using the new ATN stuff has been good. I switched out my other one for the blaze, and pretty nice. I got some cool pictures with it too. It's really cool to be able to take video, be able to point at people and not have it attached to a scope. You know, you're effectively pointing a gun at someone. So we got a little bit of that. I think Brian got a video of me dragging the 2 out earlier. So we will, we're pretty happy to have some content coming back, and we're going to keep after it. We got a line on some new spots today, I think, and just going to keep doing what we do. So
we got a spot for raccoons too that the guy really wants us to come in there, and he's got a really bad problem.
So hopefully that's soon too. But like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate that, and we hope to keep coming at you with more.